Disney and Lucasfilm are currently coming up with many different plans in order to expand the Star Wars franchise past the Skywalker saga that's set to end with The Rise of Skywalker by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about the future of the Star Wars franchise, in case you guys did not know, we do in fact have a new Star Wars trilogy on the way in the coming years that's going to be created by the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Now, I do know that there is a lot of criticism about what went on with the last season, Season 8 of Game of Thrones, and a lot of people aren't too sure if they're the best choice, but we'll have to wait and find out to see exactly what they are set to offer for the Star Wars franchise. Now, what's really intriguing is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about the future of the Star Wars franchise and where things are really going. And what's really interesting about all of this is that it's described that not only are Disney and Lucasfilm focused on The Rise of Skywalker, but also the format of the new Star Wars trilogy that will be created by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. It's said that Disney and Lucasfilm are currently in a phase of figuring out the tones of the new films that will reshape Star Wars for a whole entire new saga, and that they are negotiating on bringing in A-list actors as well as some B-list actors for their new films. One actor in particular who has been making a comeback is Keanu Reeves, and that Disney and Lucasfilm are in negotiations of getting him on board for a new Star Wars film, where he would play one of the main characters for the new Star Wars trilogy. It's said that Disney is moving forward with this and trying to get Reeves on board, as they are also offering him to enter the MCU in the upcoming Marvel's The Eternals film. Reeves has been on, of course, the rise with the John Wick films, and not to mention him now being featured in a video game called Cyberpunk 2077, where Reeves is also going to be working on Bill and Ted 3 as well as a fourth John Wick movie. It's completely unclear as to who Reeves would actually play, as they are still in the early stages of casting. However, it's safe to say that since he is being looked at for a main role, he could be a Jedi or a Sith based within the Old Republic era. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I believe Keanu Reeves is the perfect choice for a Star Wars film. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Keanu Reeves, he is a guy who was really big in the 80s and the 90s and had a little bit of a downfall when it came to some of the movies, I would say after The Matrix, and then began making a big comeback with the John Wick movies, and now that he's back on board with Bill and Ted 3, and how he's also going to be coming into the MCU from what's been told. What's really intriguing though about all of this is that Disney and Lucasfilm are looking at Keanu Reeves to be a part of the new Star Wars trilogy. Now, this could mean that he's going to be a Jedi or a Sith, or for all we know, guys, it could be something as small as Keanu playing the voice of one of the main characters that's going to be in the form of motion capture. For all we know, right? Now, what I like about this, though, is that this is, of course, Disney and Lucasfilm's approach at recreating Star Wars, doing something completely different. In case you guys didn't hear this, what's really exciting about the new Star Wars trilogy is that not only will David Benioff and D.B. Weiss be choosing exactly who's going to direct these movies, but on top of all of that, they're primarily focused on bringing in A-list actors and B-list actors that will be used for the supporting roles. Now, Keanu Reeves, pretty big actor. I'm pretty sure that pretty much almost anybody knows who he really is. And he's been around for decades. I mean, he's been around for the Matrix movies. He's been in so many action flicks out there. Not to mention John Wick and how he's coming back with the fourth one. And what's said to be him entering the MCU with the Eternals movie with Angelina Jolie. Everything is really shaping up for Keanu Reeves lately, and now he's even a part of the gaming industry. He's in a new video game called Cyberpunk 2077. So it almost seems right that Disney and Lucasfilm are approaching him and trying to get him on board for the first film to drop in 2022. Again, Mr. Reeves, he's a busy man right now. He's involved with, everything related to Cyberpunk. He's also involved with Bill and Ted 3 coming. John Wick 4 is in the early stages as we speak, as well as him in negotiations to come on board for the Marvel's The Eternals. Now, who could Keanu Reeves really play? Now, a lot of people have been suggesting that he could very well play a Jedi, or he could even be a Sith, or maybe a bounty hunter for all we know. I mean, the possibilities really are endless as to exactly what's going to happen with the new trilogy. And like I have always said, I think it's a great move that Disney is, of course, looking at A-list characters, or should I say actors, to portray these characters in these Star Wars films. I think that that's going to give a different vibe, or a different tone, if you will, to a Star Wars movie and what it really means. Again, we also know that these movies are going to have a lot of inspiration from Lord of the Rings and obviously Game of Thrones, since they wrote those, seasons of the TV show on HBO. And not only that, they're also using this as a way in order to really reshape the franchise, really kind of create their own mythology, create their own saga that goes past the Skywalker saga, either before or after the events of these 9 movies that involve, Anakin, Luke, whatever have you. So, guys, I'm on board. I think Keanu's a great guy, and I think that he could really nail it as any character depending on how everything is going to be written. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.